परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नित्य नामने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे सर्वशास्त्राभ्युपीयूष सर्ववेदैकसत्फल सर्वसिद्धान्तरत्नाढ्यः सर्वलोकैकदत्प्रदा सर्वभागवत प्राण श्रीमद्भागवत प्रभो कलिध्वान्तोदितादित्य श्रीकृष्ण परिवर्तिता परमानंद पाठाय प्रेमवर्षक्षराय ते सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोऽस्तु मे मदेकबन्धो वत्सङ्गे मद्गुरो मन्महाधन मन्निस्तारक मद्भाग्य मदानंद नमस्ते प्रसाधु साधुतादाय नतने चोच्चताकर आनमंच कदाचिन् मां प्रेम्णा हृत्कण्ठयोस्फुर ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय 3.2.7 to 3.2.15 धववाच कृष्णद्युम्मणि निम्लोचे गिर्नेष्वज गरेणः किं नु नः कुशलं ब्रूयाम गतश्रीषु पृथेष्वहम् Sri Uddhava said, my dear Uddhava, my dear Vidura, the sun of the world, Lord Krishna, has set in our house. It's now been swallowed by the great snake of time. What can I say to you about our welfare? Shri Krishna virahena santupya manaha pratyaha. Uddhava, burning in lamentation for uh, because of being separated from Lord Shri Krishna, replies, Shri Krishna eva dyumanihi suryaha tasya nimloche astamaye sat astamaye sati अजकरेण कालमहासर्पेण गिर्नेषु निगीलितेषु त्वत्पृष्ठानां बन्धूनां किं नु कुशलः ब्रूयाम्. What can I say to you about uh, our welfare, about the relatives whom you have asked about? No, Chakravarti Thakur, I think this is why everything is so slow. Fast. Chakravarti, शोकव्याकुलं विदुरम् आश्वासयितुं प्रथममेव सिद्धान्तं ब्रुवन् स्वबहिर्वृत्त्या तद्विरहसन्तापं लोकानां दुरवस्थानं च आवेदयति. To console Vidura, who was overcome by distress, right at the beginning, Uddhava presents the Siddhanta, the settled conclusion. And then after that, he informs about the the misfortune of the worlds and their distress upon being separated from Lord Krishna by external vision. Krishna eva dyumanihi suryaha tasya nimloche astamaye sati ajagarena mahasarpa rupa shoka andhakarena. So here, the great snake of time refers to darkness in the form of distress. Girneshu, nirgili teshu, griheshu, naha asmakam, pratprashtanam bandhunam kim kushalam bruyam. अत्र ज्योतिश्चक्रे स्थितस्य एव द्युमणेः अश्वरथ सारथ्यादि परिकर विशिष्टस्य यस्मिन् वर्षे अस्तमयः दृश्यते तत् अन्येषु वर्षेषु तदा एव उदय पूर्वाह्न मध्याह्न आदयः दृश्यन्ते यथा तथा एव गोकुल मथुरा द्वारका स्थस्य सपरिकरस्य तत्लीलामृतमज्जित जगज्जनस्य एव कृष्णस्य यस्मिन् ब्रह्माण्डे अन्तर्धानं दृश्यते तदा एव अन्येषु ब्रह्माण्डेषु जन्मोत्सव रासोत्सव कंसवध रुक्मिण्यादि परिणय उत्सव आद्याः लीलाः दृश्यन्ते. Just as the sun, it is actually situated in one place. We know from the fifth canto that in the world that is perceived by the demigods, which is actually reality, ground reality, in comparison to what we in the gross world perceive. But as the sun moves in the Jyotish Chakra, which is the circle of the sun, where sun moves in that manner. Actually, the sun does move. The elaborate discussion made by Sadaputta Prabhu. What is the meaning of that? In one of the appendixes to Canto 4 of Valmiki Ramayana, I very elaborately dealt with the fifth canto cosmology. So when the sun moves according to the Jyotish Chakra, then in some places, now first of all, the sun has its own, sun refers to Surya Deva, first of all, there's a person. Okay. And we don't get to see him because his form is divine or subtle. So we only get to see the gross aspect. We see only the mandala, the effulgence, the round effulgence that emanates from him. So when the sun moves with his horses, with his chariots, with his charioteer, as a whole, you'll see in fifth canto what they are. There are some apsaras who dance. There are some sages who glorify Lord Vishnu situated in Surya's heart. So there's a whole group. All of them are moving. So when they move, in particular varshas, they experience sunset. In some other varshas, they experience sunrise. Even if you don't consider that, if you consider our own, the human observable cosmology, here also, the earth is rotating. The visible cosmology of human beings is very similar to what is given in Surya Siddhanta and other Jyotish Shastras, which also describes Earth as a globe floating in space. It talks about equator, Tropic of Cancer. I mean, similar, very, very similar. The diameter of the Earth. All these things the calculations are very similar. Even if you consider our human cosmology, the Earth is rotating. So in one place, it is sunset, in another, at the same time, it is sunrise somewhere else. So like that, the Chakravarti Thakur says that Lord Krishna, he is situated in Gokula, Mathura, Dwaraka. Just as the sun is situated in the Jyotish Chakra. Situated means it is only moving in that particular circle. There's one particular circle where the sun moves. It doesn't haphazardly move on all different directions. He's got one particular circle through which he moves. Similarly, Lord Krishna also, he manifests his pastimes in Gokula, Mathura, Dwaraka. So he's situated there. And he's situated with his associates. So for those people to whom he is accessible, for them, Krishna might disappear. It simply means that in one particular universe, he has disappeared. But in other Brahmandas, they experience Krishna's festivity of birth, Krishna's festivity of rasa, Krishna's killing Kamsa, Krishna's festivity of marrying Rukmini and other queens. These pastimes are seen. Jyotish Chakre Suryasya Udaya Purva Ahna Adyaha Pratyamanatva Vastavaha. कृष्णस्य तु जन्म आद्याः तत्र तत्र नित्यत्वात् वास्तवाः एव इति विशेषः. Now, there's a distinction between the sun's arising and so on, and Krishna's arising and so on, because Krishna's pastimes are eternal, whereas these events of the sun's moving, this is not Vastava. Remember Vastava Vastu. The Vastava Vastu, Avastava Vastu, and Avastu. So the sun's movement and all does not come under the category of Vastava Vastu because it's temporary. Material universe itself will be destroyed at some point. Whereas Vastava Vastu reality is that which is not disturbed by time at all, by the force of time. So Krishna's pastimes, they are Vastava Vastu. So that distinction is there. Sarvasam Leelanam Nityatvam Prathamaskandhe Darshitam. The eternity of all the pastimes has been pointed out in the first canto. Dashame cha punah sa pramanakam darshayishyate cha. And with evidence, this will be pointed out in the 10th canto. Means in his commentary to the first canto, in his commentary to the 10th canto. He is going to write it in the 10th canto comment. Yatha Surya Astamaya Sambandhini Varshe Andhakarena Grasyamane Kamalani Mlayanti Chakravakaha Vilapanti Chaura Dasyu Rakshasa Preta Adyaha Krishyanti तथा एव श्री कृष्ण अंतर्धान संबंधिनी ब्रह्मांडे दुख अजगर ग्रस्ते साधवः लायन्ति कृष्ण अनुरागिणः विलपन्ति धर्म सेतवः भिद्यन्ते धार्मिकाः भगवद् बहिर्मुखाः कृष्यन्ति. Just as in that varsha where the sun has set, where the sun has set means moved, it is moved out of it, it is gone to the other side of Mount Meru. So that varsha experiences sunset. Or in human cosmology, the earth is rotated in such a manner that the particular region is experiencing sunset. When darkness is overcoming that region, lotuses fade, chakravakas lament, chakravakas require the sun. Thieves, dacoits, rakshasas, ghosts, and others are in delight. Similarly, in that Brahmanda, where Shri Krishna disappears, then the snake of darkness or distress swallows up that region. In other words, they become disturbed by extreme distress. Sadhavaha mlayanti. Saintly authorities fade. Krishna anuraginaha vilapanti. Those who are lovingly attached to Lord Krishna, they lament. The boundaries of dharma are broken. And the adharmic people who are averse to the Supreme Personality of Godhead are in delight. Iti Uddhavena Girneshu ityadina suchitam. This is indicated in this verse by Uddhava when he says, it has now been swallowed by the great snake of time. Question.
Prabhu,
I don't hear you.
can you please explain Prabhu about Avasta Vastu? Avasta Vastu is temporary, and what is Avastu, Prabhu?
Avastu is that which does not exist, like Khapushpa, like a flower in the sky. It simply does not exist. There are things which don't exist, like the egg of a horse. It simply does not exist. Horses don't lay eggs. We came across this in first canto. Okay, let's move on. The disappearance of the Krishna son may be explained as follows according to the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Vidura was struck with great sorrow when he got the hint of the annihilation of the great Yadu dynasty as well as of his own family, the Kuru dynasty. Uddhava could understand the grief of Vidura and therefore he first of all wanted to sympathize with him by saying that after the sunset, everyone is in darkness. This entire world was merged in the darkness of grief. Neither Vidura nor Uddhava nor anyone else could be happy. Uddhava was as much aggrieved as Vidura, and there was nothing further to be said about their welfare. The comparison of Krishna to the sun is very appropriate. As soon as the sun sets, darkness automatically appears. But the darkness experienced by the common man does not affect the sun itself, either at the time of sunrise or of sunset. Lord Krishna's appearance and disappearance are exactly like that of the sun. He appears and disappears in innumerable universes, and as long as he is present in a particular universe, there is all transcendental light in that universe. But the universe from which he passes away is put into darkness. His pastimes, however, are everlasting. The Lord is always present in some universe, just as the sun is present either in the eastern or western hemisphere. The sun is always present either in India or in America, but when the sun is present in India, the American land is in darkness. And when the sun is present in America, the Indian hemisphere is in darkness. As the sun appears in the morning and gradually rises to the meridian, then again sets in one hemisphere while simultaneously rising in the other. So Lord Krishna's disappearance in one universe and the beginning of his different pastimes in another take place simultaneously. As soon as one pastime is finished here, it is manifested in another universe. And thus this Nityalila or eternal pastimes are going on without ending. As the sunrise takes place once in 24 hours, similarly the pastimes of Lord Krishna take place in a universe once in a daytime of Brahma, the account of which is given in the Bhagavad Gita as 1,000 million billion, 4,320,000,000 solar years. But wherever the Lord is present, all his different pastimes as described in the revealed scriptures take place at regular intervals. As at sunset, the snakes become powerful, thieves are encouraged, ghosts become active, the lotus becomes disfigured, and the Chakravaki laments. So with the disappearance of Lord Krishna, the atheists feel enlivened and the devotees become sorry. Text 8. Durbhagavo vatalokoyam yadavo mitramapi ye sam vasanto na vidur harim meena ivodutpam. This universe, with all its planets, is most unfortunate. And even more unfortunate are the members of the Yadu dynasty because they could not identify Lord Hari as a personality of Godhead any more than the fish could identify the moon. Anushochannaha. In Lamentation, he speaks this verse. Durbhagaha, bhagyahina, ye sahasam vasantaha api Sri Harihi ayam iti navidu. They could not understand that this is Lord Sri Hari himself. Yatha Kshira Samudre Jatam Udupam Chandram Tada Tatatyaha Minaha Kevalam Kamaniyaha Kaschit Jalacharaha Ityevam Viduhu Nato Amritamaya iti Tadvat. Just as the fish, plural, that were in the milk ocean, when they saw the moon that had arisen, they thought, oh, this is some beautiful aquatic like us. They do not understand that the moon is actually filled with nectar, yadwa, or else jale pratibimbitam chandram yatha iti. Or when they looked at a reflected moon, a moon reflected on water, like that. Jiva Goswami and Krishna Sundaram. So let me take the Brahmastra version. Durbhaga iti. I am mama hridaye spuran dwarakavasi lokaha. He's talking about the residents of Dwaraka. Durbhagaha, bhagyahinaha. ये संवसन्तः सह वसन्तः अपि न विदुः न जानन्ति अहं तु संवासभाग्यहीनः न जानामि इति न आश्चर्यमिति भावः. Even the Yadavas who were with Lord Krishna could not understand him. So you should not be surprised that I, who have been deprived of that fortune of staying with him, that I don't know about him. अत्र तदानीं यदि संवासः न अभविष्य तदा न आवेदिषु इति एव अवक्षदिति ज्ञेयम्. किंच हरिः सर्वमनोहरत्वेन ज्ञातः अपि तं न अविदुः. So they knew that he was very much captivating, but they did not know him in reality. Swayam Bhagavattvena na jananti. They did not understand that he is Swayam Bhagavan. Tatra drishtantaha. The example in this regard. Meena ivodupam. Like the fish in relation to the moon. Swakalavardhana artham prabhase samudramagnam. Prabhase? Prabhase? Prabhate, no? प्रभासे समुद्रमग्नं तं मीनाः यथा केवलं मधुर उज्ज्वलत्वेन एव विदुः न तु देवोत्तमत्वेन तद्वत् इति अर्थः. Okay. So just as the moon, when it was in the ocean, submerged in the ocean, the fish, they only considered that it is something which is very sweet and shining. They do not understand that Chandra is actually the best of the devas, or first class deva. Chakravarti. एवं तद् विनाभूतानाम् उत्तमलोकानां दुरवस्थां दर्शयित्वा तद् विरह उद्रेकेन अकस्मात् स्फुरितं तदीय महा ऐश्वर्यज्ञानं स्वस्मिन् न आलक्ष्य तद् विनाभूतानां तल्लीला परिकराणां तादृश महा ऐश्वर्यस्फूर्तिम् आलक्ष्य प्रेम विभ्रमस्य केनापि वैचित्र्येण एव तान् निन्दति दुर्भगः इति. So first of all, he points out that those who have been deprived of Lord Krishna's association, even the first class personalities, they're in a state of misfortune. Then, because of the increase of his separation from Lord Krishna, he criticizes due to a loving delusion. He criticizes those who have had the fortune of being with the Supreme Lord. Here, there is a spurti or a realization of the great glory of the Supreme Lord. In separation from Krishna, one experiences realization of the great opulence of the Lord, glory of the Lord. This is something that we keep on seeing. Ayam mama hridaye spuran dwarakavasi lokaha durbhagaha bhagyahinaha trapi yadavaha tat atisamīpa sambandhinaha nitaram durbhagaha. The Dwarkavasis, they are unfortunate, and the Yadus or the Yadavas, they are most closely related to Lord Krishna. They are most unfortunate. Ye samvasantah saha vasantah api harim swamadhuryena tattat manaha harantam na viduhu na jananti. Even though Lord Hari was with them, meaning the one who captivated their minds was with him, still they did not understand. Aham tu samvasa bhagyahinatvat gyatva api atidurvaga iti bhava. The implication is, I am actually deprived or the fortune of staying with him. And because of that, even though I do know about his real position, I am most unfortunate. यथा क्षीर समुद्रे जातम उडुपम तत्रस्थम चंद्रम तत्याः मीनाः केवलम अति कमनीय अस्माकीनः कश्चित् जलचरः इत्येव विदुः. Just as the moon in the milk ocean, it considers that this Chandra that is there in the milk ocean, it is just some very beautiful aquatic like us. Natu devatarupaha sutamshun nishapatihi iti. Does not understand, they don't understand that this is actually a demigod. The one who showers nectar and the master of night. Tadvat yadavaha Krishnasya madhuryam eva jananti nato aishwaryam. So they only knew Krishna's sweetness. They did not realize Krishna's aishwarya. Iti dukkhena tan durbhagan eva bravimi iti bhavaha. The implication is, therefore I have to say that they are unfortunate. Vastutah tu. In reality, however, durgyeyaha bhagaha mahatmyam yasyasaha. ऐश्वर्य ज्ञान निष्ठेभ्यः माधुर्य ज्ञान निष्ठानाम उत्कर्षस्य दशमे व्याख्यास्य मानत्वा. In reality, durbhaga does not mean unfortunate. It means those of inconceivable fortune, those whose fortune cannot be expressed, because superior to those who are fixed in Aishwarya understanding of Lord Krishna are those who are fixed in Madhurya understanding of Lord Krishna. Now, this is a topic which comes up in Raghavartma Chandrika, 2nd chapter, as well as in Bhashyapitaka, Siddhanta Ratna, Baladev Vidyabhushan. There is something called Aishwarya knowledge understanding. There is something else called Madhurya knowledge and understanding. So, Chakravarti Thakur says that he is going to explain in the 10th canto the superior, exalted position of those who are fixed in Madhurya knowledge and understanding of Lord Krishna, in comparison to those who are fixed in Aishwarya knowledge and understanding of Lord Krishna. It's knowledge, understanding, realization, all that. अत्र न विदुः इति वर्तमान निर्देशेन द्वारकावासिना विदुनांश भगवन् नित्य संज्ञत्व ज्ञापनाय भो विदुर त्वत्पृष्ठ कुशलाः यादव आदयः सम्प्रति श्री भगवता सह एव सुखेन एव खेलन्ति. Here न विदुः he uses. Some vasantaha न विदुः. न विदुः. It is actually literally in the present tense. They do not know. Okay. So by referring to this in the present tense, he points out that the Dwarakavasis as well as the Yadus are eternally associating with Bhagavan. So he wants to convey the following to Vidura. O Vidura, you had asked about the welfare of the Yadavas and others. Right now, they are with Sri Bhagavan. They are not without Sri Bhagavan, and they are sporting with him in happiness. They are not in unhappiness. Kevalam prashta tvam prishtaha cha aham iti avam eva avam ochavaha iti bhavaha. It is only you and I, the one who is asking about them, and the one who is replying, we are in distress. This is the implication. if they were not simultaneously living with Lord Krishna, then he would have used a different set of words. In Sanskrit grammar, there are different set words. Instead of, there are different set of words that he would have said, but he didn't say that, using the present tense. Uddhava lamented for the unfortunate persons of the world who could not recognize Lord Sri Krishna in spite of seeing all his transcendental godly qualities. From the very beginning of his appearance within the prison bars of King Kamsa up to his Mausala Leela, although he exhibited his potencies as the personality of Godhead in the six opulences of wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, the foolish persons of the world could not understand that he was the Supreme Lord. Foolish persons might have thought him an extraordinary historic figure because they had no intimate touch with the Lord, but more unfortunate were the family members of the Lord, members of the other dynasty, who were always in company with the Lord but were unable to recognize him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Uddhava lamented his own misfortune also because although he knew Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he could not properly use the opportunity to render devotion service to the Lord. He regretted everyone's misfortune, including his own. The pure devotee of the Lord thinks himself most unfortunate. That is due to excessive love for the Lord and is one of the transcendental perceptions of viraha, the suffering of separation. It is learned from the revealed scriptures that the moon was born from the milk ocean. There is a milk ocean in the upper planets, and there Lord Vishnu, who controls the heart of every living being as Paramatma, the super soul, resides as the Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Those who do not believe in the existence of the ocean of milk because they have experience of only the saltwater ocean should know that the world is also called Go, which means cow. The urine of a cow is salty, and according to Ayurvedic medicine, the cow's urine is very effective in treating patients suffering from liver trouble. Such patients may not have any experience of cow's milk because milk is never given to liver patients. But the liver patient may know that the cow has milk also, although he has never tasted it. Similarly, men who have experience only of this tiny planet, where the saltwater ocean exists, may take information from the revealed scriptures that there is also an ocean of milk, although we have never seen it. From this ocean of milk, the moon was born, but the fish in the milk ocean could not recognize that the moon was not another fish, it was different from that. The fish took the moon to be one of them or maybe something illuminating, but nothing more. The unfortunate persons who do not recognize Lord Krishna are like such fish. They take him to be one of them, although a little extraordinary in opulence, strength, etc. The Bhagavad Gita 9.11 confirms such foolish persons to be most unfortunate. Avajananti mamudha manushim tanumashritam. Text 9. Ingitagya purupraudha ekaramascha satvata satvatam rishabha sarve bhutavasam amamsata. The Yadus were all experienced devotees, learned and expert in psychic study. Over and above this, they were always with the Lord in all kinds of relaxations, and still they were able to know him only as the one supreme who dwells everywhere. Bhagyahinatvad evana viduhu natu jnana samagri abhavat. Simply due to their misfortune that they did not know about Lord Krishna's position. It is not due to lack of knowledge and so on. Ityaha. With this in mind, this verse is now being spoken. Ingitam chittastham jananti. Expert in psychic study means they could understand the mind, the thought processes in the minds of others. Tatha Guru Adishayena Praudhaha Nipunaha. So they were very, very expert in that. Ekasmineva sthane aramanti iti tatha. So they are always with the Lord while relaxing with him. Evam bhutaha api bhutanam avasam Ishwaram santam satvatam rishabham satvata shreshtham amanyata. Even though this was the situation, they thought the Supreme Lord who is residing all the living creatures to be the best of the Sattvatas. Some question. How is it possible when Lord is present, people cannot understand him? They're covered Yogamaya Samavrita. He's all attractive. His beauty is so extraordinary. Even attracts. So how is it possible? So they thought he's extraordinary living. Punya. They thought he had accumulated. No, no, अधुना अपि न जानन्ति इति कथं जानासि? Jiva Goswami. How do you say that even now they don't know him? Iti ashankya. Anticipating this question. Tatra hetum prachina nija anubhavam. So anticipating this, he speaks the reason, which is based on his own previous experience. Ingita jnana. Sattvatam svesham esham patitve vartamanam swayam bhagavantam api bhutavasam tad amsharupam bhuta antaryamanam eva amam sataivi. Even though he was the leader of the Sattvatas, basically their group, and even though he was, in other words, even though he was a lord of creatures, the inner of these living creatures.
Prabhu, are you connected with Geo or Bhagwan ones? You are mute.
Let me connect with.
Because in the morning time, the network light goes away, electricity, and therefore Bhagwan's internet does not work. Here also in Brahmachari also, ashram also, it does not work properly.
TP Link 5G. Let me try it out, but wait. Let me also
that is
locate
5G.
Geo. Let me locate Geo also. 1 minute.
Geo is TP Link.
So how can Bhagwan's Wi-Fi can't work?
Yoga Maya potency, Prabhu.
I'm not able to trace out where the Geo dongle is because we've been cleaning this place and moving things. It'll take a while to sort it. Anyway, we'll try our luck with this. That's all. Okay, wait. Make it back. Very interesting discussion here. Okay. Eko Deva Ityadau. Wait, let me do one thing. Stop my video just for bandwidth. Eko Devaha Ityadau Sarvabhutadivasa iti Antaryami iti Shrutehe Uttam cha Vrishninam Paradevata iti. See, from the Shruti, it is understood that there is one supreme being who is residing amongst all living creatures. Shvetashvatara. But from 10.43.17, okay, let's take out this. 10.43.17. Point 70. Statement Mallanam. Here you see Vrishninam Paradevata. Vrishninam Paradevata. See. So different persons saw Lord Krishna when he came to the wrestling arena. So in that, it is very clearly noted that for the members of the Vrishni dynasty, he was their most worshipable deity. So the Yadavas always thought about him like that only. Krishna Chakravarti. Nanu Shuddha Premaika Madhurya Bhujaha Gokula Vasinaha Iva Dwarka Vasinaha na Khalu Aishwarya Jnana Shunyaham Bhavanti. Question. The residents of Gokula, they relish the exclusive sweetness of pure prema bhakti towards Lord Krishna. The residents of Dwarka, on the other hand, they are not devoid of Aishwarya knowledge, understanding, and realization of Krishna. Tat, therefore, katham na viduhu iti bravishi. How can you say that they do not know about him? Traha, anticipating this verse is being spoken. Ingitagya iti tadiya chittastham api vastu jananti. Kim punaha sharirastham saundarya lavanyadikam. They can even understand what is in the mind of a person. So how can they not know about the beauty and loveliness of the Lord and so on? Tatra hetu. Because of the reason for that, Purupraudaha, Ati Sukshma Buddhayaha. Their intelligence was extremely fine. Tadapi, Aishwarya Jnana Abhavamaha. Still, they did not have Aishwarya knowledge of the Lord. Ekasminneva asana shenado aramante. They were always with him together. They were sporting with him while sitting on the same seat as he was sitting on, and so on. Satvata, Sveshameva Rishabham, Tikulapatitvina Vartamana Vishnam Bhuta Avasam, Sarvabhuteshu Avasantam Antaryamanameva Amam Sata, Eko Deva Ityadav Sarvabhuta Divasa iti Antaryami Shrutehe, Natu Swayam Bhagavatvena Sakshat Narayanasya Api Amshinam iti ataha te harim na viduhu iti aham eva ucham. They do not understand that he was Swayam Bhagavan, the source of Narayana himself. Therefore, I had said, they did not know Hari. Iha jagati samuchitam janantaha ajanantaha cha na nindyante. Nindyante tu tan madhyavartinaha artham janantu iti bhava. Those who know fully, those who don't know fully, they are not criticized. But those who know partially, they are the ones who are criticized. In the Vedas, it is said that the Supreme Lord or the Paramatma cannot be understood simply by the strength of one's erudition or power of mental speculation. Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo nam medhaya nam hunashrutena. Kathopanishad 1:223. He can be known only by one who has the mercy of the Lord. The others were all exceptionally learned and experienced, but in spite of that, knowing the Lord as the one who lives in everyone's heart, they could not understand that he is the original personality of Godhead. This lack of knowledge was not due to their insufficient erudition. It was due to their misfortune. In Vrindavan, however, the Lord was not even known as a Paramatma because the residents of Vrindavan were pure, unconventional devotees of the Lord and could think of him only as their object of love. They did not know that he is the personality of Godhead. The Yadus, or the residents of Dwaraka, however, could know Lord Krishna as Vasudeva, as a super soul living everywhere, but not as the Supreme Lord. As scholars of the Vedas, they verified the Vedic hymns, Eko Deva, Sarvabhuta Adivasa, Antaryami, and Vrishnina Paradevata. The Yadus, therefore, accepted Lord Krishna as a super soul incarnated in their family, and not more than that. 10. Devasya Mayaya Sprishta, Ye Chanyad Dasadashitaha, Bhramyate Dhir Natad Vakyir, Atman Yuktatmano Rau. Under no circumstances can the words of persons bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord deviate the intelligence of those who are completely surrendered souls. Ye Yadavaha Devasya Mayaya Sprishtaha Yaktaha Yadavaha ayam asmad bandhu iti vadanti ye cha Shishupala Adayaha asat eva anyad vairamashitaha nindanti tesham vakyehi atmani haro Upta atmanah nikshipta chittasya madrishasya buddhihi na bhramyate moham na prapaye. Anyetu mudha eva iti artha. So those who are completely surrendered souls, they are not bewildered. They are not bewildered. Whereas the others, completely surrendered souls means those whose minds are completely devoted to the Supreme Lord. Whereas the others are bewildered. So they think that the Lord is favoring one group and is unfavorable to another group. ये च यादवेभ्यः अन्यः विराड विदुषाम् इत्यादि उक्त प्रकारेण परम विद्वांसः ते तु अन्यद् असत् परमोत्कृष्ट भौतिक देहः असौ इति मन्यत इति अर्थः. Yoga Goswami notes that then there are others, not the Yadavas, who consider him to be Virat, the universal form. So they may be great scholars, but they think that he has got the exalted material body. Like many Hindus, they think Krishna is like this. Evam cha Martilokavartinaha sadhavaha tad viraha dukkinaha ye cha yadavadyaha tad nitya sanginaha samyoga sukhinaha te dvaya eva bhaktimatvat dhanyaya. In this manner, those who are living in the world of the mortals, the saintly authorities, they are experiencing distress due to separation from him. And the Yadavas and others who are his eternal associates, they are experiencing happiness due to being in communion with him. Both of them, because of their devotion to the Supreme Lord, are actually fortunate. Anyetu abhaktaha narakinaha eva. But those who are not devoted to him, they are actually meant to go to hell. Itiyaha devasya maya ye spushtaha vidvanmaninaha. So those who are touched by Maya and they think that they are very learned scholars. Tatrapi yecha anyat pishta siddhantat aparam atiduštamatam asuram ashitaha. And then there are those who have, because of several rotten conclusions, they have taken shelter of asuric, very evil views. Tesham vakyaihi Krishnaha shariram parityajya vaikuntham gataha iti tatha Krishnaha dhritarashtra jarasandha adi mahamaharaja droha dharma janitvena brahmashapena sakulaha evam नाशं प्राप्तः इति निन्दाभाषितैः हारौ आत्मनि परमात्मनि उक्त आत्मनः निक्षिप्तचित्तस्य भक्तजनस्य धीः न भ्राम्यति. You have these people who have taken shelter of many asuric views. Those devotees whose minds are fixed on the Supreme Lord, Supreme Soul, Hari, are not bewildered by their words when they say that Krishna gave up his body and went to Vaikuntha, or that Krishna attained complete destruction along with his dynasty because of the curse of certain Brahmanas, which came about because he betrayed very great kings like Dhritarashtra and Jarasandha. Kintu tan madhurya eva nimajjati. The devotees of the Supreme Lord, they immerse themselves in the sweetness of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Yesham bhramyati taihi api alam narakibhihi iti bhavaha. Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to all the evidences of the Vedas. He is accepted by all acharyas, including Sripad Shankaracharya. But when he was present in the world, different classes of men accepted him differently, and therefore their calculations of the Lord were also different. Generally, persons who had faith in the revealed scriptures accepted the Lord as he is, and all of them merged into great bereavement when the Lord disappeared from the world. In the first canto, we have already discussed the lamentation of Arjuna and Yudhishthira, to whom the disappearance of Lord Krishna was almost intolerable up to the end of their lives. The Yadavas were only partially cognizant of the Lord, but they are also glorious because they had the opportunity to associate with the Lord, who acted as head of their family. And they also rendered the Lord intimate service. The Yadavas and other devotees of the Lord are different from those who wrongly calculated him to be an ordinary human personality. Such persons are certainly bewildered by the illusory energy. They are hellish and are envious of the Supreme Lord. The illusory energy acts very powerfully on them because in spite of their elevated mundane education, such persons are faithless and are infected by the mentality of atheism. They're always very eager to establish that Lord Krishna was an ordinary man who was killed by a hunter due to his many impious acts in plotting to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra as well and Jarasandha. So plotting to kill Dhritarashtra's sons and plotting to kill Jarasandha, the demoniac kings of the earth. Such persons have no faith in the statement of the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord is unaffected by the reactions of work. Namam karmani limpanti. According to the atheistic point of view, Lord Krishna's family, the Yadu dynasty, was vanquished due to being cursed by the Brahmanas for the sins committed by Krishna in killing the sons of Dhritarashtra, etc. All these blasphemies do not touch the heart of the devotees of the Lord because they know perfectly well what is what. Their intelligence regarding the Lord is never disturbed, but those who are disturbed by the statements of the Asuras are also condemned. That is what Uddhava meant in this verse. 11. Pradarshya tapta tapasam avitripta drisham nrinam adayantaradhadyastu swabimbam lokalochanam. Lord Sri Krishna, who manifested his eternal form before the vision of all on the earth, performed his disappearance by removing his form from the sight of those who were unable to see him as he is due to not executing required penance. Who is Harihi? Who is this Lord Hari? Iti apekshayam, anticipating this. Aha, he speaks. Pradarshiyati, pradarshya. Na taptam tapah yaihi ataha avitripta dashaha yesham tesham swabimbam vimurtam. त्रिमूर्तिम् एतावन्तं कालं दर्शयित्वा यः अन्तर्हितवान् लोकस्य लोचनम् आदाय आच्छिद्य तादृशस्य अन्यस्य विलोकनीयस्य अभावात्. Without executing penances, one cannot be avitripta drisha. One cannot see him without satiation. Yatha tatha api sarva akarshanamev tadrupam. ityaha pradarshayati. Somehow or other, attracting everyone is the nature of his beauty. That is pointed out in this verse. Chakshusha chakshuhu iti Shrutyukta disha. This is indicated in the Shruti itself, in Upanishad. He is the eye of the eyes. Lokalochana rupam swabhimu swamurtim adaya juhitva. He took away his own form, which was seen by everyone. Everyone's eyes were on him. Tatoktam Mausale Parvani, as noted in the Mausala Parva, which is the 16th canto of Mahabharata, which describes the Mausala pastime. Tattva bharavataranam prithviya prithulocanaha mochayatva tanam krishna praptasvad sthanam uttamam. Tatra mochayatva bhara avatarana tyajayatva natu muktva iti arthaha. Mahabharata verse says, after removing, after lightening Prithvi from its burden, the far-sighted Lord Krishna, he attained his own abode. With his body, actually. Now here, the word mochayatva is used instead of muktva. And Jiva Goswami has remarked that from this we understand that he relieved Prithvi of the burden. It doesn't say that he gave up his body. Krishna Chakravarti. Tasmad bhaktanam matam eva vastavam bhavet. Therefore, it is the understanding of the devotees of Lord Krishna that would conform to factual reality. Tadeva kim. And what is that? Iti apekshaya maha. Anticipating this, he speaks. Pradarshya iti. Avitripta drishamnanam iti anadare shashti. Oh. Even while people were watching at him, were looking at him with unsatiated eyes, the Supreme Lord, he disappeared. Yastu swabimbam swiyam shri vigraham nreen pradarshya tan madhuryam aswadiyatum arabdham ataha eva tan avitripta drishya anadritya swabimbam punaradaya tad drigya akshidya nitva antaratha shighram tiro babhuva. The Lord had shown his own form to human beings, and they had begun to relish his sweetness. At that very time, without considering the fact that they had their vision of him was not fully satisfied, he again took away his original form. He took it away from the range of their vision, and in that way, he quickly disappeared. Atra yat padasya uttaravakyartha gatatvena na tat pada apeksha sadhu chandramasi pushkarai kritam militam yad abhiramanta adhika iti vat tirodhana akarane atilobhinaha te punarapi nirbharam aswada ishyanti iti buddhya eva iti utprekshadhvanita. Nanu tarhi datta apahari saha Traha Lokanam Lochanani Stitani Yatre de Lochanana. So sorry. Krishna Chakravarti Thakur says that the Supreme Lord, he actually stole away their vision. This is all a reflection of something which will come in the 11th canto. Into Chaurasya iva, like a thief. अतः च कृष्णेन पृथिव्याम् अवतीर्य सर्वचक्षुर्हरणात् लोकाः अन्धीकृता एव न तु पालिता इति व्याजस्तुति. And indirectly, he's saying that because he stole away the eyes, the vision of the whole world, when the Lord descended, he made all of them blind. He did not actually protect them. This is called Vyajastuti. This is indirect, disguised glorification. Nanu swabimba madhuryasya anantyat chiraya vipayane tasya kahaniha bhavishyat तत्र तस्य कृपा सिंधो को दोषः किंतु लोकानामेव भाग्य अभाव इत्याह अतप्त तपसाम् इति लोकरीत्या एव उक्तिः. Now, because the Supreme Lord's original form's sweetness is unending, what would have been their problem if he had allowed them to continuously relish that? So what would be the defect of that ocean of mercy, Lord Krishna? It is nothing but the lack of fortune of the world. And therefore, it is said, atapta tapasam, because these people did not undergo sufficient penances. Now, this is lokaritya iva uktihi. This is just a statement in line with the common customs of the world. Vastitastu atapta tapasam kintu prapta tat kripa bharana mityartha. In reality, even though they had not executed austerities, they had attained a lot of his mercy. न हि एतादृशम् अनुरागित्वा आपादनम् एव मुख्य प्रयोजनं च ध्वनितम् अस्मिन् अभ्युदिते जातु न तृप्तिः दर्शनादिषु इति. तथा स्वबिम्बम् आदाय एव अन्तरथा. In other words, he just took his body away, which means that he made himself invisible to them. Nanu parityajya iti sharira parityagavadinaha parahataha. तथा यन् मध्य लैल उपयकम् इति यद् धर्मसूनोर् इति उत्तरश्लोकेषु स्वबिम्बस्य एव विशेषणदानां मानुषं बिम्बं परिहाय दिव्यं स्वबिम्बम् आदाय अगात् इति विरुद्धं व्याचक्षाणा अपि parahataha. See, there's one group of people who think that Krishna actually gave up his body. There's another group which say that he gave up a human body, but he went with a celestial body. Both of them are actually wrong. Tatha pradarshya iti antaradhad iti na tu pashyati sma iti pradarshane antardhane च तस्य इच्छा एव कारणम् इति कर्म अधीनत्व विवादिनः विपराहताः. And then there are others who think that Krishna is under some karmic reactions, and therefore he manifested himself and he unmanifested himself and so on. Tasmad devasya mayaya sprishta iti purva shloka uktanam asatam matam dushayitum pravrittasya udhavasya eva iyam vani pramani kartavya natu etat pratikulanam vakyanam kotihi api. In order to refute all of these misconceptions, the current statement of Uddhava should be accepted as most authoritative, which can defeat millions of contrary opinions. Etat vakyam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam iti vakyavadeva mantavyam iti shastrasya asya swarasa rasaniya. Just as the statement Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam is accepted as a very clear statement of definition of the nature of Lord Krishna, who will be described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami had noted in Krishna Sundarbha that even if you bring hundreds and thousands of quotations which seem to say that Krishna is an incarnation of Vishnu, this one statement is alone capable of refuting all of them. Like that he's saying, this current statement of Uddhava, this alone is capable of refuting all contrary misconceptions. In this way, the natural sense of this scripture should be relished. In this verse, the word avitrupta drisham is most significant. Conditioned souls in the material world are all trying to satisfy their senses in various ways. But they fail to do so because it is impossible to be satisfied by such affairs. The example of the fish on land is very appropriate. If one takes a fish from the water and puts it on the land, it cannot be happy, cannot be made happy by any amount of offered pleasure. The spirit soul can be happy only in the association of the Supreme Living Being, the personality of Godhead, and nowhere else. The Lord, by His unlimited causeless mercy, has innumerable Vaikuntha planets in the Brahmajyoti sphere of the spiritual world. And in that transcendental world, there is an unlimited arrangement for the unlimited pleasure of the living entities. The Lord Himself comes to display His transcendental pastimes, typically represented at Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwaraka. He appears just to attract the conditioned souls back to Godhead, back home to the eternal world. But for want of sufficient piety, the onlookers are not attracted by such pastimes of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that only those who have completely surpassed the way of sinful reaction can engage themselves in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The entire Vedic way of ritualistic performances to put every conditioned soul on the path of piety, a strict adherence to the prescribed principles for all orders of social life. One can attain the qualities of truthfulness, control of the mind, control of the senses, forbearance, etc., and can be elevated to the plane of rendering pure devotion service to the Lord. Only by such a transcendental vision are one's material hankerings fully satisfied. When the Lord was present, persons who were able to satisfy their material hankerings by seeing Him in true perspective were thus go back with Him to His kingdom. But those persons who were unable to see the Lord as He is remained attached to material hankerings and were not able to go back home, back to Godhead. When the Lord passed beyond the vision of all, He did so in His original eternal form, as stated in this verse. The Lord left in His own body. He did not leave His body, as is generally misunderstood by the conditioned souls. This statement defeats the false propaganda of the faithless non-devotees that the Lord passed away like an ordinary conditioned soul. The Lord appeared in order to release the world from the undue burden of the non-believing asuras, and after doing this, He disappeared from the world's eyes. Okay, text 12. Yanmartya leelopayikam swayoga mayabalam darshayata grihitam vismapanam swasya cha saubhagardhe param padam bhushana bhushanangam. The Lord appeared in the mortal world by His internal potency, Yogamaya. He came in His eternal form, which is just suitable for His pastimes. These pastimes were wonderful for everyone, even for those proud of opulence, including the Lord Himself in His form as the Lord of Vaikuntha. Thus, His, Shri Krishna's transcendental body is the ornament of all ornaments. Taddeva bimbam varnayati tribhihi. Now, the original form of the Lord is being described in 3 verses. Yan martya lilasu aupayikam yogyam. The Supreme Lord's form that He displayed during His pastimes with the mortals was appropriate for that purpose. Swasya api vismaya janakam. And it astonished even Him. Yataha, because saubhagya riddhehe, saubhagya atishayasya parampadam parakashta. Because it was the final limit of the abundance of auspiciousness. Bhushananam bhushanani angani yasmin. And it was the very ornament of ornaments. Atra harau ukta atmanam nishchayamaha. This was the ascertained realization of those whose minds had been dedicated to Lord Sri Hari. Yanmartya. So yoga maya balam swachichaktehe viryam etadrisya saubhagyasya api prakashika yam bhavati iti evam vidham darshayata avishkrata. When the Supreme Lord revealed His original form to various souls, they were most astonished with the thought that, oh, this is the highest manifestation of all auspiciousness. And this is actually by the prowess of His own internal potency that He revealed Himself in this manner. Sakala swa vaibhava vidvat gana vismapan Viswapanaya iti bhava. And he did this to astonish all those who were in knowledge about all kinds of opulences possessed by the Lord. न केवलम एतावत् तस्य रूपांतरे तादृशत्व अनुभव. It's not just that. In other forms, these features were not at all revealed. Trabi pratiksham api purva prakashat swasya api vismapanam. At every moment, because it was astonishing more and more and more, it was even astonishing to himself. Yataha, because saubhagirte param padam parakashta, because that form was the supreme foundation of all kinds of auspiciousness. Nanu tasya bhushanam tu asti saubhaga hetuhu. Now, can we not say that it was his ornamentation that was the cause of his auspicious beauty? Yaha bhushaneti. Vidrisham. He was bhushana bhushanangam. Actually, his body was the ornament of the ornaments that were being worn on his body. What is the nature of that form? Martya Leela Aupayikam Narakriti Ityartha. It was fit for the Lord's pastimes with the mortals. In other words, it was a human-like form. Tasmat Sutaram Yuktam Uktam. Therefore, appropriately, it has been stated, Sri Mahakala Pura Adhipena Api. Therefore, the superintendent of the city of Mahakala had stated, as we will see, 10.89.58, I was always hankering to see both of you, and therefore I brought you here. Sri Harivamshe, Sri Krishna Vachanena cha. And in Harivamsha, Sri Krishna also speaks again about the same pastime of Mahavishnu stealing the sons of the Brahmana in Dwaraka in order to see Lord Krishna. But darshanartham te bala kritaha. Tena Mahatmana, that great soul, Mahavishnu, has stolen these boys because he wants to see me. So that is why it says Swasyapi Vismapana. He was attractive to everyone, including himself. Himself means the Lord of Vaikuntha. So the Lord of Vaikuntha wanted to see him. He was so beautiful that even the Lord of Vaikuntha wanted to see him. The Lord of Vaikuntha is he himself. But he himself wants to see himself in the form of Swayam Bhagavan. No. Antardhaya Swabimbam Vaikuntham eva kim nitavan atraha yadbim matililasu aupayikam upayuktam katham Vaikuntham yatu iti bhavaha. Uddhava says that he took his original form, which was actually fit for the Lord's pastimes with the mortals, to the Vaikuntha universe. The implication is, how is it that it is appropriate for his pastimes with the mortals here? Why he should have taken that form to the Vaikuntha universe? Tena dvarakayam eva sampratyapi yatha purvam eva tad vartate eva tad ichha abhava atratya lokaha tat na pashyanti iti matram vishesha iti bhava. He is still there in Dwaraka, like before. But because he does not wish the people in that area do not see him. This is the only distinction. Nacha matya leela aupayikatvena tasya apakarshaha mantavyah. One should not consider that because the form of Swayam Bhagavan Krishna is appropriate for his pastimes with the mortals, that form is inferior. Pratyuta Vaikuntha Leela Swarupebhyaha api paramotkarsha eva. On the other hand, that personality, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, he is much more exalted than the personalities of Godhead who engage in pastimes in the Vaikuntha universe. Itiyaha swayogamaya swarupa bhuta chitshaktis tasya balam sampurnam eva samarthyam darshayatha darshayitum iti. न च किमपि ऐश्वर्यं माधुर्यं वा निह्नुत्य स्थापितम्. So the Supreme Lord, he wanted to show the nature of his Yogamaya completely. He did not hide even slightly any of his opulence or his sweetness. It was sarvasvameva atre bimbinikshyaptam. Everything that belongs to him was placed in that original form. Napi Vaikunthe evam balam darshitam iti bhava. The implication is even in Vaikuntha he did not display this much strength of his Yogamaya. Grihitam iti sthiti sarga nirodheshu. Grihita mayaya vibhor ityatra mayaya guna grihita iti vad. Abhedepi bhedoktihi. He accepted this form, should be understood like the expression, he accepted the three modes of material nature. When you say accept, it should be understood that the Supreme Lord's form is actually non-different from him. But still, we use the words in this manner. Buddhihi bhagavati abhedeyapi bhedam janayati iti nyaya. Because the intelligence conceives of distinctions in the Supreme Lord, even when there is no distinction internally between him. Grihitam avishkritam iti sandarbha. And anyway, the sandarbha says, Grihitam means avishkritam, revealed, discovered, Grihitam. Darshayata, Grihitam. Yadva, alternate meaning. Yad bimbam darshayata darshayitum swayogamaya balam Grihitam. Rajamahishi vivaha adishu tatha prasiddhehe. Balameva dyotayati. Swasya cha Vaikunthastathya Shri Narayana Swarupasya api vismapana. So, in order to show his own form, the Supreme Lord accepted the strength of his Yogamaya potency. Just like the strength at the time of marrying a queen. So, in this way, he was an attraction even for the Supreme Lord's own personality of Sri Narayana situated in Vaikuntha. Aho rupam aho sajgunyam iti chamatkara prapakam eva anya avattara rupa guna adi darshinam Vaikunthiya parshada adinam kavarta iti bhava. So for those who had seen the various forms, qualities, etc. of his other incarnations, even for such people, this form was bringing about astonishment. Oh, what beauty! Oh, how good this form is. So what to speak about the associates of the Lord in the Vaikuntha universe? Ateva saubhagya riddhehe, saubhagya sampattehe, param padam, para avadhi sthanam. This is the ultimate limit of the auspiciousness that has been, the beauty that has been revealed. Ataha, therefore, Vaikunthanatasya api tad darshana ichha udbhavati. Even the Lord of Vaikuntha develops the desire to see the form of Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. Vijatmaja me yuvayo dukshana ityade. We know this from statements such 10.89.58 spoken by him. Bhushananam api bhushanani angani yasya iti paramasaundaryamukta. And the fact that his own body was the ornament of all ornaments reveals the supreme beauty of the Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna. There's a question here. I'll deal with this a little later. In conformity with the Vedic hymns, Nitya Nityanam Chaitana Chaitananam, Upanishad 2 to 13, the personality of Godhead is more excellent than all other living beings within all the universes in the material world. He is the chief of all living entities. No one can surpass him or be equal to him in wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, or renunciation. When Lord Krishna was within this universe, he seemed to be a human being because he appeared in a manner just suitable for his pastimes in the mortal world. He did not appear in human society in his Vaikuntha feature with 4 hands because that would not have been suitable for his pastimes. But in spite of his appearing as a human being, no one was or is equal to him in any respect in any of the 6 different opulences. Everyone is more or less proud of his opulence in this world, but when Lord Krishna was in human society, he excelled all his contemporaries within the universe. When the Lord's pastimes are visible to the human eye, they are called prakata. And when they are not visible, they are called aprakata. In fact, the Lord's pastimes never stop. Just as the sun never leaves the sky. The sun is always in its right orbit in the sky. It is sometimes visible and sometimes invisible to our limited vision. Similarly, the pastimes of the Lord are always current in one universe or another. And when Lord Krishna disappeared from the transcendental abode of Dwaraka, it was simply a disappearance from the eyes of the people there. It should not be misunderstood that his transcendental body, which is just suitable for the pastimes in the mortal world, is in any way inferior to his different expansions in the Vaikuntha lokas. His body manifested in the material world is transcendental par excellence, in the sense that his pastimes in the mortal world excel his mercy displayed in the Vaikuntha lokas. In the Vaikuntha lokas, the Lord is merciful toward the liberated or Nityamukta living entities, but in his pastimes in the mortal world, he is merciful even to fallen souls who are Nitya Bandha or conditioned forever. The 6 excellent opulences which he displayed in the mortal world by the agency of his internal potency, Yogamaya, are rare even in the Vaikuntha lokas. All his pastimes were manifested not by the material energy but by spiritual energy, the excellence of his Rasalila at Vrindavan. And his householder life with 16,000 wives is wonderful even for Narayana and Vaikuntha, and is certainly so for these within this mortal world. His pastimes are wonderful, even for other incarnations of the Lord, such as Sri Rama, Nrsimha, and Varaha. His opulence was so super excellent that his pastimes are adored even by the Lord of Vaikuntha, who is not different from Lord Krishna himself. Okay, wait. So, this was 3.2.12. Check something. Okay, there are 2 questions in the chat box. By strict adherence to the prescribed principles for all orders of social life, one can attain the qualities of truthfulness, control of the mind, control of the senses, forbearance, etc., and can be elevated to the plane of rendering pure devotion service to the Lord. By strict adherence to the prescribed principles. What is prescribed principles? This is Varna Dharma, Ashrama Dharma for all orders of life. What are the 6 opulences he displayed? Fame, wealth, wisdom, beauty, power, renunciation. Krishna displayed all of these. You read Krishna book, you'll get a good idea of it. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur has written a nice poem called Swayam Bhagavata Ashtaka, in which he points out how Lord Krishna displayed, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, how he displayed each of the 6 opulences. Very nice. It's 9 o'clock, so let me just stop with that. I will note that I should start with 3.2.13. Okay. Stop it. Vanshakaputavyasya, Kripastuvyasya, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha.